you do. I bet you've got some tales.
I remember what's her name. What's her? I remember these two little ladies here, but that was only 20 minutes ago. So, yeah.
By the way, girls, you know something? The movie we're up here for was done way back in the 1900s. And they put something in the cameras called film.
And there was no cell phones, no iPhones, no computers. Well, there were, but not for personal use. So the Battlestar Galactica, the special effects were, of course, you know, they were not computer generated. So it was a whole completely different process to produce it. Very, 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 very expensive. So the first 3-hour Battlestar Galactica was about 13 million, and 2 million of that went to Richard Hatch for his salary because he was the big star. Richard was. He's not here, so now we can tell the truth. Now, God bless Richard. Richard was the figurehead of Battle. You know, Richard Hatch, Apollo, was the figurehead of Battlestar Galactica. He truly loved doing conventions. I mean, he enjoyed it. He enjoyed the fans, and it's very sad he's not here, but in spirit he is. So.
How many of you have met Richard at some of the other conventions here in the UK? Show of hands. There you go.
How many? 3? Come on. And there was never a convention I went to that he wasn't at.
And, genuinely, Dirk's correct, he genuinely loved all of you, individually and collectively.
Which I never understood, because you're not all that wonderful. In fact, some of you are really weird. No. And we're all very normal. Especially Jack.
No.
Jack. Who knew Jack would turn out to be the way he is? Were you always sort of...
Well, it's amazing I stayed out of prison.
Oh, you are out. I thought you were. Yeah. It's amazing. I know. We all share a certain bit of stunned disbelief that you're all here. You know, I mean, we did the show. We loved the show, and it was really. But if you'd asked anybody connected with the show, I'm certain that 40 years from now, you'll probably be in Scotland, and people will come up to you and go, "Hey, I love that show." You know, what are you kidding? 40 years from now. Well, they won't watch this show, so it's amazing that it still continues. So we all understand why, and we can share our various perceptions of why. Because there are really valid reasons why that show exists. You know, it's not just because there's a lot of science fiction shows before then and since then that haven't had the endurance. So the real reason is I was in it, and Terry Carter. And, no.
If we go along the line, what do you actually genuinely think is part of the success? Because this is a massive show still. I meet people of all ages who watch it.
I'd like to field that briefly. I can tell you in one man's name, a name that I don't hear often enough, Glenn A. Larson.
Yeah.
It is his vision. Causes us to sit here today. We never know when we're working, and I'm sure all of my colleagues would agree, when we're working on an original piece of material, something that's never been done before, no matter how much we give our hearts and soul, and how much money is thrown into the given project, we never know how it's going to be received by you guys. And you're the bottom line as to whether or not it's going to succeed or not. You know, whether you're going to turn the channel. And somehow or other, 3 of Glenn A. Larson's shows are represented at this convention this weekend. That includes Battlestar Galactica, Buck Rogers in the 25th Century, and Knight Rider. All the vision of one man. That's how I feel about an answer to that question, in that one man who put me to work. Guys?
He put me to shame. Glenn, oh God, as the But for me, the reason Battlestar is around, because they remade the show, you know. And of course, when they remade it, they made it in the way of modern times. You know, it reflects the modern, the new century, the new show did. But that old show was family oriented. So all of you of various ages watched it. We were part of your families because you could watch it with your 6-year-old or your 20-year-old or your grandpa or grandma. So we became part of a family. So when you see us, you think of Uncle Henry or Aunt Mabel, and you go, oh yeah, you were there, we used to gather as well. So that doesn't happen much with any shows anymore because there's not shows that you want your 8 or 10-year-old to watch. But our show was like that. It had a spiritual value, and we were all a family in the show. We all loved each other. We fought, but we loved each other. The villains were very clear, and we had hope. We had a spiritual bonding, and we all would die for each other, and we were always certain that we were going to overcome obstacles and find Earth, which when we live our lives, we all go through all that adversity, but we have hope. We get up every morning, we put on our clothes, and we go out and try again. And that was Battlestar Galactica. And that was Glenn Larson, as Herbert said.
His vision.
Jack, Terry, what are your thoughts? Are you on the same vein about the success of the show?
I mean, like everybody, I mean, the life of an actor is huge peaks and deep valleys. And, you know, I'd worked for Glenn several times, and when they made a direction change in the show and brought in the Pegasus to create this adversarial element within the fleet itself, Glenn was kind enough to ask me to play that part. And, you know, anytime an actor gets offered a job, this is a major high point in your life because most of the time you're rejected. And so I will always be incredibly grateful to Glenn, who put me in 4 of his shows at one time or another. And,
yeah, I would second that notion. I have always been very grateful to Glenn Larson because I worked in quite a few of his shows. He did $6 Million Man, and he did, you probably heard of McLeod. Was a show with a Spanish name, so I assume you knew that.
With Dennis Weaver.
With Dennis
Hey,
Weaver?
Fall Guy. Did you know guys familiar with Fall Guy? Glenn A. Larson.
That's right.
Hired me to do a little pop in that too after Battlestar.
But you were in other of his shows, too.
Yes.
Yeah, you did it. You were in his contract, I think. Glenn's, he was like, I think he was just saying, I gotta create another part for Terry Carter. Let's see. All those science fiction shows.
By the way, Terry here is the elder statesman of television right here. This gentleman, he's been in this industry for 60, 70 years?
68, something.
68, not 70, 68.